My name is Britt Otter, and I'm going to be your host today, and I am so excited. We have an amazing show planned for you, and I think you're going to have a grand old time. Thank you for coming, and in case you did not know, you're at Access Larimer. Not bad. We have a really fun show planned for you today, because we have some special guests, and I can't wait for you to meet them. I'm going to give you a little preview. We've got Matthew Callahan, who is studying theater and is majoring in Associate of Arts, and is also a proud member of Ravenclaw. Yes, my house. And then we also have Krista Fellman, who is studying an Associate of Arts in Business. Yeah, awesome. And she's a proud mom, and is coming back to school after some time off, and has done some amazing accomplishments we can't wait to celebrate. Yeah. And we also have James Nevisine, who is doing an Associate of Applied Science and Computer Networking, and has worked in our office and has a lot of experience with technology, if you can't tell by the name computer. Yep. And works in the IT department. So give a hand for our awesome guests. I'm so excited to have them. Yeah. So, I also want to mention that in today's show, we have some prizes. So you all are lucky you're here, because if you're not here, you don't get a prize. And you can't all see, but behind me, there's all of these goodie bags full of prizes. And it was really hard for me not to just take them all myself. I'm a very generous person, except for when it comes to prizes. And then, we also have today two $40 bookstore gift cards. Yeah. And if you have not done so already, make sure you go sign in at the table on those little tickets, the welcome tickets. You have a chance to win one of three $500 Front Range scholarships. Yeah, 500 bucks. All right, let's get started. So, if you're here, you're going to have a lot of prizes today because we've got quite an awesome audience, and we're going to already give a prize away. So, if you are in a chair that has, wait, almost there. If you have a chair, and underneath your chair is an envelope. All right, someone's got to find the envelope.
Do you guys sure you put it down here?
Oh yeah, it's there. And this is even better. I couldn't have made this up.
Ah!
Yeah!
Oh,
Krista. So Krista, you get to come up and choose a prize. Come here. Yeah, it's fine. It's trash. That's very fair. Come on, and choose one of the prize boxes. All right, I need you to open what is inside in front of this lovely group of people.
Okay.
It says cheers. So
I have a bow.
Oh, there's a bow. There is a bow. And there's pearly straws. Yeah.
Bubbles.
Bubbles are important.
Bubbles are important.
Yeah.
A foam glow stick.
Foam glow stick.
I can't say it because of me.
Yeah, don't say what you're going to do with it. Don't say what you're going to do with it.
My kid's got to run now. I have a floatable whale cup holder.
Yeah, for when you're taking a little break on the waves. The river? Right? Why not? Why not? Uh-huh. A chalice.
It's a margarita glass.
There is no margarita in this one.
Bam.
Perfect. There you go.
It is.
Yeah. And there's one more in there. Yeah. You don't have to open it.
Oh.
Yes. Woo! Yeah! This is gonna have some fun.
Okay, guys.
And now you have to put all of that in the bag. Yes.
So this is foam, so it's
That is
not
foam.
child abuse.
It is, well,
Not.
if you both have one, is it, I don't know.
How about if I tell the
if your object is stuck on them.
Nah.
Never. Hey, don't forget that one. Awesome. Let's give it a hand for Krista. Well done. All right, first up, we have our first special guest who's going to share his stories. Matthew Callahan, again, my proud Ravenclaw partner. Come on up, Matthew. Yeah. All right, yeah. Take a seat. Get comfy. Are you comfy?
Yeah, I'm comfy.
You're really comfy?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. So, talk to me a little bit about how you came to know you have a disability and what that process was like discovering your disability.
So, my disability is, well, more in the learning sense. I have dyslexia, dyscalculia, and ADHD. So, when I was very little in first grade, I was kind of failing already, and my first grade teacher, I won't say his name, but he was very rude in the sense that he kind of told me that you wouldn't pass middle school, you wouldn't even get past that level. But it's more in the sense that in second grade, that's when I truly discovered it. My teacher, Miss Indy, pulled me aside and told my parents that I had possible learning disabilities. So the funny story is that we actually went up here to CSU to get tested for them. I went to their back every 5 or 6 years during middle school and high school. But in that regard, it was kind of challenging in the sense it was the same test over and over and over again. But it was kind of fun just to see if I could do better, if I could do better in that sense, to improve it on my learning disabilities, basically.
Thank you. So what was middle school and high school like for you during this time, and how did it affect your college experience coming from that middle school and high school experience?
Well, let's start with middle school. Everybody knows that kind of middle school is like the worst years of your life. I'm not even joking on that sense. It is pretty fun, but it's like you're going through, like, trying to figure yourself out. Like, who here has been through an emo phase before? Yeah, that is surprising coming from you. No, but yeah, it's like I went through a little emo phase, but then during high school, I actually went to 2 high schools. I started all the way until 10th grade in Costa Rica, and I was in an American school there as well. But then, second year of 10th grade, or my second half, I went up to a Buffalo boarding school called the Gal School. And that was for people with learning disabilities, so it was a whole wide range of spectrum there. It's like some people had it really bad, some people didn't. The school is pretty nice itself. I know I seem like I'm advertising for it, I'm not. It's pretty fun. But yeah, it was different in the sense that in Costa Rica, I exonerated all my possibilities of moving forward. So that's why I went over to New York, specifically in Buffalo, to have at least get a better sense of where I was going to go. And it was a college prep school, so that really helped.
Awesome. How did you, I know that you are really interested in literature and poetry and music, and that you've used this to focus on the challenges you face. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, being diagnosed with learning disabilities is never easy, in more in the sense that some teachers will never get you. I've had a bunch of teachers, basically say to me, yeah, you're not going to pass my class, just because you have this. It is interesting to the fact that you yourself know that you might not pass, but you have to strive forward to pass. You can't just always just sit back and say, oh, the teacher doesn't like me, in that sense, and saying that you're not going to ever pass the class. You have to strive forward and just studying every day. Like for me, I take time out. It's like I work a lot at my job, like I assume everybody else does. But it's just managing that time in between that you have to work out.
Awesome. And going along the same lines, what advice or suggestions would you give to other students who might be facing some challenges or might be in a similar situation you've been?
Basically, it's like how many people are going into college here for the first time, or at least starting off in college? Well, somewhat. Okay, so for that in that case, it's like you're gonna want the teacher's help, but it's kind of different from high school. In that sense, you don't have teachers won't cut you any slack. They will help you, but it's yourself that you have to put forth effort into actually finishing the college
You're going to
course.
be graduating soon. I think spring. Yeah?
Spring, yeah.
Spring. Yeah, with an Associate of Arts, and then transferring
To CSU.
to CSU. Woo! Go Matthew. Awesome. Congratulations. Hey, all right, all right. All right, so next up, we have another interviewee, another guest, another star, Madam Krista Fellman. Give her a round of applause, please. Yes, ma'am. How are you doing today, Krista?
Hunky dory.
Hunky dory. I like that saying. I don't even know where it comes from.
Me either.
Okay. So, we've worked with each other for a little while, and yeah, quite a while. And so, I want to know more about how you came to know you have a disability and what that process was like for you. Kind of going through that and coming and working with me.
Well, first and foremost, I don't call it a disability. I call it a different ability. I learn differently than everybody else. I've struggled with math. I went to Brittany's office many a times crying, freaking out, withdrawing from class after class when it came to math, because all through grammar school, junior high, high school, I couldn't do it. I struggled with it. And when I got into college, that was the first thing I came to her about was, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And with Brittany's help and my actual diagnosis is that I have math processing disorder. I process math 3 times slower than the average person. Hence why I get so stressed out in class. Because in college, they just roll right along. And what we learn on Monday, I'm barely grasping it come Friday. And so I feel like I'm constantly falling behind, constantly grabbing at straws, never going to be able to keep up with the masses. And it's my different ability. I've learned that. I learn differently. I require certain accommodations in order for me to be able to test. Those that get 60 minutes, that doesn't work for me because I'm only a third of the way through that test in 60 minutes time. And I don't see myself as being a math failure anymore. I've found my struggles. I've utilized the resources available to me through the Help Center, through Brittany, and I've been successful. And I'm now 2 classes away from graduating with a degree that I started 5 years ago.
That's so exciting.
Right?
Yeah. So on the same line, we're going to stick with that happy training
Yeah.
a little bit. You've had some personal experiences that have really tested your belief in yourself recently, and you've come out on top. You've achieved a lot of really awesome stuff. Want to talk about that?
Accident. Okay. Yeah, I can talk about that.
And
I can talk. Which one do you want to hear first?
whichever one you want to share.
All right, so May of last year, my family and I were in a car accident. The result of that accident was severe hip injuries on my part. I've had 2 major hip surgeries. I will have to have replacements on both of them within the next 10 years. And during that process, I lost the ability to walk. I was unable to walk for over 2 months. And as a single mom, that's huge. My kids had to take care of me. I took the little things in life that most of us take for granted, being able to put on your shoes, being able to get up and down to go to the restroom, being able to shower by yourself. These were all things I wasn't capable of doing. And so, and that accident forced me to withdraw from school for a little bit, but it made me stronger and more determined, which is why I hike now. I hike on a regular basis. I'm hiking a 14er in less than 10 days.
Wow.
But it's given me a courage and a commitment to everything that I'm striving for. And my first semester back in school was okay. It went fine, and then came math. algebra, and I was scared. Lots of people don't pass college algebra. A lot of people struggle in college algebra. I committed 38 hours a week to one class. I sat in the teacher's office every morning. I sat in his office every day after class. I sat in the help center until my homework was done, and if it wasn't done, I went to the library. And I managed, ready? I passed algebra with a high B, getting a 96% on the final. And that's amazing.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's so awesome. Yeah, you're still on.
I'm so hot.
Yeah.
I did that.
You did that. You did?
I did it.
That was a huge,
It was huge.
that's huge. And now you're on to survey practice.
I am.
Yep. And you're gonna rock it.
I'm still riding the high from the algebra, so we'll just go with that coaster.
Yep. In going through all of those challenges and coming out at the success side, how did you overcome those obstacles? What did you do? Part of it, you said you spent a lot of time with the instructor and spent a lot of time in the help centers. But what else was key to success for you?
I sat back and I really thought about who I am. What's going to work for me? Where are my struggles? What do I need? Because nobody knows me better than I know myself. They can provide me services. They can say, this is what you have. This is your different ability. But what was I going to utilize? How was I going to make sure that I was going to be successful? And I just figured out, being a single mom, being a full-time employee, and trying to go to school and conquer a math class, that wasn't going to happen. That's not how I was going to set myself up for success. So I made the changes in my life and everything that I needed to in order for me to be able to focus on math and commit to it the way that I knew would allow me to be successful. So I really dug deep in myself. And what does Krista need to be successful? And I've embraced it, and I hold it high, and I prioritize it, because that's how I've gotten to where I am right now.
Awesome. I remember there were a lot of times there where you come into my office or you would just email me and you'd say like, all right, that's it, I'm done. I give up. But you didn't. So with everything that you have gone through, what made you keep going? How did you not give up?
It's a promise that I made to myself, not only for my kids, but for myself. I wanted to prove that I set a goal for myself, and that regardless of what life has thrown at me over the past 5 years, which the car accident, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I've been through so much more in the past 5 years. But it was a promise I made to myself, a commitment to prove to myself that when I set something, I will achieve it, regardless of the obstacles thrown in front of me. And I'm doing it for me, and I'm doing it for my kids. I want my kids to see that everything I have been through in the past 5 years, I didn't quit. I didn't give up. I may have had a hurdle that I couldn't get over, but I figured out how to work around it and keep striving for that goal. And I want my kids to know that life isn't easy. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be obstacles. But if your heart is in it and your drive is there, you can achieve anything you put your mind to.
That's awesome. Your kids are so lucky.
You're going.
My last question is, what advice do you have for students who may also be struggling with feelings of wanting to give up, or that, gosh, I don't think I can make it. I don't think maybe this is for me.
Never give up. That's the first thing I can say is never give up. And never be ashamed to ask for help. There are people, all these teachers, all these instructors, all the people that work in the academic support center, even just the ones that do the business end of it, they all want to see you succeed. They want to see you be the best you that you can be. And there is no shame in asking for help. There is no shame in admitting that you're struggling. and asking how you can, what resources they can provide you to be successful. So don't give up and don't be ashamed, because you are who you are and everybody's special and everybody is their own bright star. And sometimes you just need a little bit of guidance to make your star shine as bright as it's supposed to be.
Awesome. What a wonderful way to motivate people and to remind people, you know, you can go through a lot and there's so much more that there's out there for you. Right? Yeah.
Life is what you make it. It's what I tell my kids. Life is what you make it. Nobody's going to make it for you. Life is what you make it.
So what I like to do, because there are a lot of service dogs on campus, and a lot of people have come across with owners of these animals have come across a lot of situations. I like to just break it down to explain etiquette with animals on campus. So generally speaking, correctly, right? Service animals are the only ones allowed on campus. We don't allow emotional support animals. Your cat can't come. Your, lizard or hedgehog. I had a request for a chicken. That was fun. On a leash. Yeah. Only dogs and miniature horses can be service animals. Yes. And they have to be trained to perform a specific task related to a disability for that person that is with them, or for a person. The dog can be in training for somebody else, but it has to be under the control of the owner. So my point today, though, is when you come across an animal, what do? Lots of students have told me they have people take pictures of their animal. Is that cool? No. They run up and pet their animal. Not cool. They have food and they give some to their animal. They call out for the animal. And sometimes the instructor will talk about the animal in class and point to it and make it part of lecture. Oh, that's upsetting. Why is that a concern? Any ideas?
It's not, it's just, it's inconsiderate. It's not, the dog's working. It's not there to play. It's there to help.
It's kind of putting a person's disabilities on Front Street. And
Yeah.
it's already on Front Street when you have the dog. But it doesn't need to be pointed out to everybody.
Yeah.
It's a disturbance as well.
Yeah.
They're there to provide and support and do their work, not to run around the room to get pet.
Totally. So always, if you just can't help but look at the dog pool, you can look, don't touch. The kind of, same thing if you have a, partner thing, whatever, right? Just think of it that way. And the other thing is, they're there to do the job, right? Don't distract them from doing that job. And the person's just trying to go through the day, right? They don't need someone else getting in their way to do that. And by coming across that animal, calling out to the animal, coming up and saying, oh, they're so cute, oh my gosh, right? You're getting in their way because now the animal is being distracted by you and not doing the task that they should be doing, which you don't know what that is. You might not have any idea what that is. It might not be obvious. So I just wanted to share that information because I know a lot of students have come to me and said, can we just put a bubble around my animal, please? Please? Like a force field? And because people just can't stay away. So just wanted to share. And if you could be ambassadors of knowledge and share this wonderful knowledge to your classmates. If you see this behavior going on, if you see other people engaging an animal that's working, please kindly inform them. So, I was going to do this from one of our technology things. I'm going to do it out of this little bucket. Have you all put tickets in here for the scholarship? If you have not, do so first before I do this. Have you all? No? Okay. Want to make sure you have. So you all have equal chance to win. Okay. So who wants a $40 bookstore gift card? None of you? At all? Nobody? Nobody? Okay. I am not looking at anything in here. And you have to be present to win. So unfortunately, the people who are not here, I'm not going to win. So, for them. Okay. We've got, Jim, you just won a bookstore gift card. Congratulations. Yeah, come on up and claim your prize. Present this to the bookstore as you check out. You can buy anything in the bookstore in person, not online. I know. In person. Congratulations. All right. That was fun. I lost money now. Okay. Woo. All righty. Okay. So, next. That was kind of funny. We have James Nettesheim, who is majoring in computer networking and who has worked at 2 of our campuses in the IT department and has also worked in disability support services and basically has been around to a lot of different places and will be graduating this spring semester. Yeah, come on up, Jim. Let's give him a hand. Come on up. I think you're wearing the same outfit that you're wearing in your photo. I like it. Oh, nice. Oh, there you go. It is comfy though, isn't it? You're all jealous, I know. After you can take a turn and open the couch. It's comfy. I was thinking of putting the couch out in the quad area and just sitting in it and putting on the sign come talk to me. Do you think people would?
Probably.
Advice.
They would wonder if you're a psych major.
True. That might be, I'm not a therapist, so that might be a problem. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. So I think it's cool, your story. So I wanted you to share how you ended up working with disability support services in the first place. And I just like how you tell it.
Okay, let's see. When I grew up in school, it was rough. So I had a hard time learning, and then I actually did graduate from high school, so that was a good thing. I kind of found ways to beat the system, I guess you could say. And then I went and started work and was in the military. Kind of raised a family and then got laid off and decided I wanted to come back to school. When I came back to school, I found out that in the first semester I signed up for a full load, and then panic kind of set in because I couldn't read, and ended up struggling for several months before I finally talked to the director and said, something's not right, I don't understand what's going on, and I'm basically failing all my classes. She said, well, you could go to the Learning Center. And I said, well, I'm not going to do that because I'm too prideful, I'll just drop the class. So that's what I did, I dropped the class and continued my struggles, and then my wife finally says, no, don't be an idiot, go ask for help. So I told her, I said, all they're going to tell me is just suck it up, Buttercup. But I finally decided, okay, I'm going to go. So I went. And then from then on, school has changed a lot.
So, I also know we talked about this in the past, but have you ever talked with your family or close friends about the challenges you've had learning, and why or why not?
No, I never did. My wife didn't even know until 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. it was one of those things where I didn't like to talk about my disabilities because I wanted to fit in. So I never did, and I always decided that there was other ways that I could kind of sidetrack that type of comment, so I was the fun guy. And I still avoid it. I don't like talking about it much because I don't like the D word. And as time has gone on in school, I actually learned to accept it a little bit more. And still to this day, when it's hard.
Thank you for talking to us all about it. Technology has been a really important part of your success since you've been at Front Range and since we worked together. What is your favorite technology that you've used and how has it been helpful for you?
I don't have one favorite. I started off using an Echo Cam where I could record the lectures and my notes and it would get tied to the recording. So that way later on I could follow it from my homework. And then technology started improving and I went to the Win, which is a browser internet type program that will actually read it to you. And you can follow along. So I started doing that. And then of course another one came out that was even better. So these scores well. And so yeah, there's a bunch of varieties of different programs that work for people with reading disabilities or dyslexia. So I couldn't be doing it without it. I mean, right now I've got a better than a 3.0 average, which for me is amazing. And I can only say that it's mainly because of these tools that have been provided and how technology has grown so much since when I was in school. There wasn't such thing as diagnosing any type of it. You were either a normal kid or you were special ed. Those are the only two categories. And I felt, of course, my parents were the same way. They said, no, we're going to put you in special ed. So I didn't get any type of diagnosis or help until later in life.
And thinking about your time at Front Range, what accomplishments are you most proud of?
It's kind of crazy. Let's see, probably my most biggest accomplishment is the Tenacity Award, which I just got not too long ago, in the last couple of months. Maybe spring, somewhere around there. And I've won a couple other awards that was pretty good. Employee of the Month, let's see, I won. Member of NSLS. Yeah, NSLS. Doing that as a part of that. So I've tried to keep myself involved in school.
And my last question is, what advice do you have for current or new Front Range students in being successful here?
Well, let's see. The first thing I would do is if you're struggling, you admit it and ask for help and not do like me and drag my feet and end up failing a semester pretty much. Pretty even further behind the graduation date that you originally had set a year. So, but it's been good. And I'd say get involved. I have been involved in quite a few things. I've done the video promotion and bulletin board promotion for the center. And I was invited to talk in Lebanon Springs. So that was a huge honor about disabilities and students with dyslexia. So that was really cool. I've had a chance to be able to work at the school in various jobs and help people in different ways. So that was really nice. And it's a bonus too if you're out looking for a job. The employers like to see that you were involved and you just didn't go to school to go for your degree and that was it. They're more impressed with what you did plus going to school. So it's the added bonus is what they like to look for. And helping others is another big important part of it too. You know, if you see classmates struggle, try and help them out. Or if you see somebody that needs some help, right out of the system, it's a really important piece to do.
Awesome, thank you. Because Jim works in the IT department and knows a lot about technology, I thought I'd ask him, what are some most important top 3 things that you would say a student should know about in terms of technology as a student? Whether it's things to access on D2L or eWolf, or if it's assistive technology, things like that.
I think probably one of the most important things is using assistive technology if you need it, and to basically know how to browse, because when you're in school, you're doing a lot of research, and it's really important to be able to know how to come up with the words that you need to search, because that's the hardest thing for me to learn. I had this come up. You just got to be able to find the correct words. And how I started was using a thesaurus. You know, a lot of times I think of the word, but it wasn't what the browser was looking for. And you know, you would look at sports and you might show a banana or something. It's like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. So, you know, you have to be a little more specific. You know, words that were actually what you're looking for as you do the search. Because that's going to be a big part of school life.
That is the end of our show.